in the 100-meter men's, everybody ran under 10 seconds. Can you imagine having the ability to run a 100-meter in less than 10 seconds? It's quite unbelievable, actually. That's the length of a football field in less than 10 seconds. Woo! Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to the Speak Your Vision podcast. And today, it's one of those episodes where we're going to talk a bit about current events, a bit about things that's happening in the world right now. And once again, this is the Speak Your Vision podcast, where we talk about all things empowerment. This is your space where we talk about empowerment. This is your space where we talk about leveling up and continuing to be the best authentic version of yourself. Not me. I can't tell you to be me, but I can, well, because then you have to be you. So there it is, folks. Now, with that being said, in this episode, we're going to discuss how the Olympics connect to mindset, what the Olympics can teach us about mindset. So we're going to go over a few different things that I've recognized about some athletes in the Olympics right now. Something that is connected to some of the different events, some of the different sports that are happening. From there, we'll go into some specific stories about what's happening in the Olympics right now. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things and bring it all together and once again discuss what we've learned and how it pertains to you. So let's get right into it. Now, the Olympics. Obviously, the Olympics happens every 4 years. Summer, winter. There's no hockey happening right now in the Olympics because, well, that is in the Winter Olympics. For those who don't know, for those keeping score at home, we are talking about the Summer Olympics that started about a couple weeks ago now. And so the first thing I want to discuss to you about the Olympics and what it pertains to mindset is that I want you all to understand how these people get here. Ultimately, and I'm going to go over a little bit of an anomaly, okay? But ultimately, individuals who are in the Olympics, this isn't by accident, okay? This isn't by accident. And so the part that gets missed a lot of times, I'm not going to talk about the hard work piece, but I am going to talk about the importance of visualization. You know, when you see athletes when they're getting ready to run their races or when they're getting ready to throw the hammer or the discus or they're getting ready to play their particular sport, you'll often see a lot of times maybe they're listening to music as they get ready. Maybe they're taking the moments to really close their eyes and think about what they're getting ready to do. See, what people don't understand is that aside from the hard work, a lot of times people connect to their sport, a particular event, a particular action in their life. It might come off as easy or look easy to them because they've seen themselves do it before. This is the first time that they're accomplishing something with that particular success is because they've visualized what it looks like before. Obviously, they've done the practice, but also they've visualized it. Like this isn't the first time they've seen this because they've thought about what it's going to look like. See, a lot of times people try to skip out on the visualization piece because they think, oh, that doesn't make sense. I'm just going to do it when I get there. But people are closing their eyes, gathering themselves, and taking the time to visualize when they're getting ready to prepare for a particular event or sport for the Olympics. It happens all the time. If you watch and take the steps to actually think about what people are actually doing when they're not there on accident. They're visualizing and getting their mindset together to be ready for that event, for that action. The thing I want to talk about is some of the events that pertain to teamwork. Okay. You know, it's a collective, right? When we talk about some of the different rowing events and crew and basketball and such, you know, understanding that when you're at work, you're a part of a team. But when we're talking about sports, it's a lot of the same properties that make a good team, that make good teamwork, that happen in sports, that happen in basketball or all these different sports, and I'll get into a bit of a basketball example later. But ultimately, people aren't thinking about always what it looks like to work as a collective, as a team. Something that I always talk about when I was in marching band back in my prime, a long, long time ago. Um, I was a decent baritone player on my own. But when we put the other 200, when we put the other 15, 16 baritone players together, we created something really cool. And when we put the entire 200 people in the band and color guard together, something really special was created. If you go look up some marching band stuff, like marching band, such a really neat art. And it's amazing what people can create when you work together as, I don't want to say machine, but I the cliche teamwork makes the dream work cannot be under or overstated. It can't be under or overstated. It's just special. It's speechless what people can create when we work together. And taking the time to bring great people from your country, what have you, to have the opportunity to work together. It's really neat. I say take the time and watch a team sport. Don't get me wrong. I love watching swimming and all those things in the Olympics, but there's just something about some of the teamwork stuff that really is special. Now, aside from some of the individual things that we see going on with the visualization and the importance of the collective of teamwork, another piece of the Olympics that I feel like a lot of people are missing is the fact that sometimes people just have gifts. Some people just have gifts. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times people want to say because they can't do something, they're going to say that, oh, I can't do it. So then someone else can't do it either. Right. People try to put their limitations on other people. So there are some people that just have gifts. And because one person can't do it, they want to put different limitations. I thought this particular story in the Olympics was a really interesting one because James Conner from Istanbul, I don't, he taken up the event. I believe it was one of the shooting events in the Olympics. Okay. And he had a lot of different things going on in his life. Feel free to look up the story if you like. But without any real training or anything like that, or doing, I shouldn't say any real training because he did train, but he had a very unorthodox approach in his event in the Olympics, in his the shooting event that he's in. And he doesn't have a technique similar to anybody else. Okay. And out of nowhere, out of he came in second and had event James Conner for Istanbul in the Olympics. And I just thought that was so wild. Someone that's doing it in a different, unique way, unorthodox, came out of nowhere and won a silver medal. So I bring up that particular story to start getting into some of the different particular situations in the Olympics because what you need to understand is that everyone in this world has a gift. Everyone. We're all unique. We're all different. We all have our own unique set of gifts that we bring to the table, and other people want to dim the light on those. What I will tell you is that whatever your gift is, learn what it is. Put yourself out there, learn new skills. You never know what you're going to learn, what you're going to be great at if you hide yourself from different opportunities and different new things. And so what James Conner from Istanbul really teaches us is that you don't know what your gift is, and you might find a reason to get into something new. And before you know it, you're in the Olympics and you got a medal. Okay. I encourage you all to check out that story because it's a really neat one for someone that just had no idea that they were going to get into that. This guy's a mechanic in his 50s in Istanbul, and now he has a silver medal in the Olympics. What are we talking about here? You know, and to the next thing, it's just an amazing thing what the Olympics are. It's a moment where all different countries around the world come together to show their talents in different ways. And it's a really neat opportunity to really connect with the rest of the world and see all the greatness, all the gifts that we have in this world. But when I talk about what the Olympics means for our own individual mindsets, it's recognizing one, that you can visualize your greatness, but two, you have gifts. See, Oftentimes, the world's going to tell us to not visualize our greatness because they're going to say that we can't do it. They're going to say, that's not your gift because it's not my gift. And I'm telling you right now, you have to visualize your greatness consistently, whether it's going well or not. First, you got to visualize it. And I didn't talk too much about this point because it's the obvious. You got to practice it. I had someone tell me the other day, it's not going to work for me. I can't do it. Your practice is going to make your progress. I was talking to my brother. I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was talking about he trains his family, trains his girls and his little boy about playing basketball. And they play a bunch of basketball, shooting drills, dribbling drills, and all those different things. And one quote my brother said to me is that when it comes to practice and putting your shots to become a better shooter in basketball, the rent's due every day. The rent is due every day. The practice is due every day. Okay? So if someone's out there putting in the work, so why not you? So you can visualize the work, you can have the gift, but the practice makes the progress. You got to put the entire equation together. And when we talk about putting the entire equation together, I think LeBron James is a great example of this. See, LeBron James been in the NBA now for years, 39 going on 40, okay? And it's interesting because you could tell that the game has slowed down for him because he's visualizing it. The practice makes the progress. He's been doing it for years. And you can tell that he has different gifts that other people can't do. But ultimately, I think for him, it comes down to the visualization because it has enhanced his IQ for that particular sport and has given him the opportunity to work as a collective with his team because he knows what it looks like already. He's been there before it actually happened. Not that this dude's a mind reader or a future teller or anything like that, but when you put in the work and you visualize it, anything is possible. The next event that I want to discuss when it comes to what the Olympics can teach us about mindset, ultimately is the 100-meter. So when we talk about practice making the progress and putting in the work, I think that there's something about never giving up. If you look at the race, well, real quick, everybody ran in the 100-meter, in the 100-meter men's, everybody ran under 10 seconds. Can you imagine having the ability to run 100-meter in less than 10 seconds? It's quite unbelievable, actually. It's quite unbelievable. But that's at the length of a football field in less than 10 seconds. Can you believe that? And everybody ran it in that amount of speed, which is wild. And if you look at the race, Noah was actually almost in last in the very beginning, but pushing, putting in the work, hitting that top speed, and at the very end, leaning, knowing what it takes, knowing his technique, not losing those things to be able to win at the very end. Okay? See, I'm bringing a different, unique tone to this podcast episode because I want you all to understand the passion in which you should believe in yourself. See, a lot of times when we talk about the word passion, I talk about other people talk about finding your passion. I talk about putting passion into it. But the next level of putting passion into it is making sure that you understand the passion that your craft takes, the passion that your craft requires. Because there's something about the love of what you're doing to put passion into it, to really develop and hone in on your skills and put passion into it to develop your technique. See, there's a certain level of self when it comes to putting passion into what you're doing. I recommend that you always be real with yourself, real with the person that you are, and trust you. And that couldn't be more important because there will be people that want to tell you that you can't do something, that it's not out there for you. So when we talk about this Olympic mindset and things that we could learn from the Olympics this year, these stories that are out are amazing. And it is an amazing thing to see all these countries coming together and getting able to see all the different gifts of the people all around the world. And to start to bring this together and wrap this up, one thing I really want you all to know is that there's truly nothing that you can't do. And if you want to do it, visualize it, put passion into it. You know, if it's a teamwork thing, create that collective, create something special. But if it's individual, understand that your practice will make your progress. But the only thing limiting you in these situations is you. Because we're giving power to others to be able to put limit on ourselves. Let me repeat that again. When you give away your power to other people to put limits on you, you have let them do that. If you went and told your next door neighbor right now that you wanted to go to the Olympics, they'd be like, I don't know. I don't think so. It's not for you, bro. It's not for you, sis. You can't, it's not for you. But first and foremost, you have to believe in you. You have to believe in you. I suggest surrounding yourself with some people that's going to believe in you. There's no doubt about that. But ultimately, you have to believe in you. That is where it starts. That's the foundation. That's what we do here on the Speak Your Vision podcast. See, let me just define this podcast for you in a moment, because ultimately the Speak Your Vision podcast is the Olympic Mindset podcast, okay? When we talk about the Speak Your Vision podcast, speaking your vision is ultimately visualizing where you want to be. But when you speak your vision, you're discussing where and what you want to be. But ultimately, you're already there because you're doing the things you know that that person, okay? You're doing what future you has already done. Let me repeat that for people in the back. When you're talking about your goal, when you're talking about your dream, when you're talking about the Speak Your Vision podcast, you are doing what future you has already done. Your dreams are just dreams if you don't have goals. So if you have goals, then you're putting in the work to get to that dream. But if your dreams have no goals, then guess what you're doing? You're asleep. You are asleep. If your dreams don't have goals, you're asleep. Okay? And that's the harsh reality of it all. Okay? Have goals, set your expectations, set your goals. Check out I'll put in the free guide, How to Win Every Day, really discusses how to navigate the difference between goals and expectations. But ultimately, set your expectations, set your goals, get to your dreams. And if you have no goals or expectations, then guess what? You're sleeping while you're dreaming. And so, Katie Ledecky, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Noah Lyles, all right? Gold medalists, people that are putting in the work every single day. The list goes on and on about all these amazing athletes, but ultimately it's visualization. Ultimately it's practice. Ultimately it's recognizing your gifts. Ultimately it's recognizing your authenticity. Ultimately it's speaking your vision, putting work to your vision and making your vision happen and doing the work that future you has already done. Future you has already done the work. But guess what? It started yesterday and it's continuing today. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. You know what we do here on the Speak Your Vision podcast. Thank you for listening. This is Everything Olympic Mindset. Hopefully you got something out of this. Leave a comment down below. You know what to do. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. And let's make it happen. Vision.